So as always, this is gonna be a personal, honest review of the bike, and I hope you like it. The bike today that I'm gonna review is called Husqvarna 401 Svartpilen. Svartpilen in Swedish means the black arrow, and you pronounce it Svartpilen. You know, as you probably know, Husqvarna was a long time ago a Swedish company, and here we are in Sweden with this beautiful bike. I quite like the looks of the bike. It has this retro styling and a little bit of a scrambler look as well. Obviously, as you can see, it's quite a small bike. It's small and nimble. It doesn't weigh much as well. It only has 400 cc, and I think it's about 44 horsepower. But nevertheless, because of the low weight, it handles good, and it has a bit of torque as well in the low range. So obviously this is a bike for commuting. If you live in the city and you want to take it to work or yeah, things like that, it's a perfect bike for that. I think also it's a perfect beginner bike because it's very easy to handle in low speeds, which I discovered today as well. I try to stand up, I try to do some you know, more difficult things in slow speeds, and it was very easy doing that with this bike. So yeah, I mean, if you are a beginner and you want to, or if maybe you are going to try to take your license, this will be a good bike to start off with, I think. But also, as you will hear me say during this video, I think you will get tired of it as soon as you start to get a better rider. That's what I feel, at least. So as I said, a good beginner bike. The seat, I will show you later on. I will go through the bike in detail with the camera, but the seat looks very nice, and it's very well made, a really nice design, and it looks comfortable. But I can tell you, after a couple of hours or even after 1 hour, it's not a comfortable seat. I don't think so, at least. It's not a comfortable seat. It also has a strange, as you can see, it's has this part right here, goes up a little bit, and I need to sit a little bit further back on the seat, and I end up sitting just on that particular part, going up, which is of course not comfortable. If you come closer to the tank, it's not comfortable also, but because of other reasons. I will not go into the details there. So the seat, you have to maybe get an aftermarket seat or do something about that. Let's talk about suspension. The suspension is good. It's a fully adjustable rear and front suspension. You can tune it in the way you want it. So it's a pretty decent suspension, I would say. Another good thing about the bike, you have standard Quickshifter up and down, which is a nice feature for this price. I think it's Husqvarna really did a good thing there, and as I said, it's standard getting this Quickshifter, and it's a pretty good Quickshifter as well. You guys that have seen my previous videos, I talked about Quickshifters before, and I didn't really like the KTM Quickshifter that I have, but I think this one is pretty smooth actually. This bike has a Acra slip-on, which is nice, of course, a little bit better sound. To be honest, I haven't heard the original can, so I don't know, but the sound is pretty decent with this Acra can. I don't think, however, that you can remove. There is a baffle debuckler inside. I don't think you can remove it without messing around too much with this can. So yeah, maybe some people want it a little bit louder. I don't know, but it's a nice looking can, I think. I will not go into details about the brakes. You can Google yourself the specifics about the brakes, but in my opinion, I think they are pretty good. Obviously they don't handle too much force because the bike is not so heavy, but I think they are actually pretty good, especially the front brake, and it has quite a bite to it. The tires that comes as standard on this bike is the Pirelli Rally STR, Scorpion Rally STR, and I think it's the same on the Tenere 700, the Yamaha Tenere 700 that I used to have before. Those tires are pretty good, I think, on tarmac because they have a pretty round profile, and they handle pretty well as well on wet tarmac, as I remembered. And they are decent on off-road, not on wet grass or anything like that, and you have to obviously change to a better knobby tire, but they are okay. I'm not sure how many people take this bike off-road, although it has a bash plate on it, spoked wheels, and the tires that I talked about. I do think that you could actually do some off-roading with it, although the ground clearance aren't very good, but I tried it a little bit on the gravel here and on the gravel roads just in the neighborhood, and yeah, I think like easy gravel roads and easy going adventure riding in the woods would be possible, especially with the suspension that we mentioned earlier. But you know, more hardcore, obviously, no, it's not this kind of bike. One really bad thing about this bike is the wind protection. Well, everything over 100 kilometers per hour, you will feel like you are going to fly off the bike because you are not sitting in the bike, you are sitting on top of it. And the seating position is pretty much upright. And even though you tuck down and try to avoid the wind, it's not designed like that. It's yeah, you're gonna feel it, and it's a pretty horrible experience actually. And not only the wind makes it horrible, it's the motor, and yeah, I mean, if you're going to do a lot of mileage on highways and such, you have to try this bike first. You have to take it for a test ride, because it wasn't a nice experience for me. So obviously there are aftermarket parts for Husqvarna that you can get, like a fly screen and such. So at least you have to have something like that if you're going on the highways with this bike. One thing is the wind that I mentioned, but also there's a lot of vibration coming from especially the foot pegs. Another thing is the fuel capacity. I don't think it has enough. I think the tank is about 90 liters, so obviously that's not enough for a bike like this, in my opinion. Another thing is the mirrors. I don't know if you can you can see this now. The mirrors are useless, to be honest, because all I can see in the mirrors are my shoulders. So you have to do like this to be able to see what's behind you, which is not good. So I will also show you that when you shift, this foot pegs moves around quite a lot, and so you have to be aware of that. The shifter is pretty down low here, as you can see. Another thing is that this side stand is just below the foot peg, which makes it a little bit difficult to reach it. But I mean, that's a minor thing. There is a target group for this kind of bike, and I'm sure you will enjoy it if you are, as I said, living in the city and you want to commute. You want to have an easy way of commuting. So that's it. I hope you liked the video. I will show you a little bit more in detail how it looks, and if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, or even subscribe. Thank you for watching.